Hi everybody, good morning. My name's Anil. I think I know everybody here except this new couple who just walked in, and I know them now. I was inspired to actually come and talk today basically because I think last time we had a talk by the Sukanya who came and who shared her story, and I realized that a lot of people keep asking me the same question, like how did you lose weight? So instead of telling each person separately my story, so I figured I'll just put it up on a presentation, that way it can help more people. And I'm also recording this so that, I already completed the blog about this because I also blogged on another subject called compassion before. So I already wrote a blog on sustainable weight loss. It'll be going live Monday morning, and this video recording will go with it. So I didn't say that before. That way even the less people would have showed up if it's going recording. So why do I call it sustainable fat loss? This is very important to understand. Okay, this is the new normal, and I used to weigh about 200 pounds. I weigh about 168 right now. So initially I'll be talking about what is weight loss, and then I'll switch to, at a later point it'll only become fat loss because eventually it's that. So it'll take time before you get there to talking only about fat loss than weight loss initially. The funny part is that everybody says, I want to lose weight, but how many people are really willing to try to get there? It's almost like a fad when people say, hey, I want to lose some weight, let's talk it over lunch. It's a really funny thing to say that, right? And then, we form these groups and say, oh, we start a good running group, and that's nice, but eventually, before you know it, the running group will form a kitty group, and they'll start meeting for lunch very often. Which is a good thing, but then the lunch becomes the majority of the focus, which is still okay. But weight loss is so important that it's funny because every time I go to the doctor's office, I'm sure there are a lot of doctors here, first thing, or what do they do at a doctor's office? The first thing, check your weight, correct? So there is some correlation to weight, I think, with your health. It's pretty obvious right there, right? And then they take a blood test or whatever test they do, and every time you go, it's funny that they take the same thing and we do the same thing over and over again. But every time you show up at the doctor's office, you almost weigh the same or more than before. That means you have not learned your lesson at all every time you go there. That's what I think. Typically, the doctor looks at all your charts and comes up with a beautiful analysis saying that, oh, I think you're at a little higher risk of whatever disease they come up with. But I think that when you go to the doctor's office, they should look at your chart and say, you know what, if you keep doing this, you're going to die soon. If somebody really said that, I think it'll really get to us faster. Correct? I'm not blaming the doctors because they have to do what they have to do. But if somebody really told you that, wouldn't it be like really get to you? Somebody really told you that you got to lose it, otherwise you're just going to die early. Or your kids are going to hate you because you're going to have whatever disease you have and they'll have to take care of you, right? And it's you to blame, not them. And your weight is basically you to blame, not your mom for feeding you. Everybody says, oh my God, my mom's here, I put on 10 kgs. I said, okay, that's perfect. Well, she also left. What happened to the 10 kgs? You haven't lost it yet. Correct? Like a doctor gives prescription, I think the doctor should also give you a prescription saying that you have to have like an ID card every time you go to a restaurant. They say, oh, based on your doctor's recommendation, you can eat only these dishes, right? Or if you go to the grocery store, they should always tell you something like, hey, based on your doctor's recommendation, these are the only things you can buy. The rest we're going to put back in the store. I think even if we do that, people will still go and do the same mistakes again. So let me switch back to this talk is more about losing whatever little weight you want to and basically keeping it off. Everybody knows how to lose weight. Just eat less, work out a little more, you lose a pound or two, right? This whole talk is about how to keep that pound or two off. I'm going to keep switching between, there's no too much of content here, like what do you eat, how much do you exercise. I'm not going to go down that path. You have a cell phone in your pocket, that'll give you more information that you'll ever need for all that, right? I'm going to basically talk about the contextual basis of fat loss, how your mind and body sync on this subject. Once you get that, it becomes a lot easier to understand this. right? And I can tell you that because I've gone through it, so it kind of helps. Well, who am I to be talking about this? Well, anyway, I just stated who I am as a person. People ask me, so what do you do? I don't tell them what I do for a living. I just tell them this is what I do. I run, I bike, I ski, I climb mountains. And a lot of things there which are not there, which are left out. The biggest thing I enjoy is all these activities started after I really started wanting to lose weight. Unless I found other passions to keep focusing on, it really didn't start to make a big difference in my life. That means I have to do something else other than plan around eating parties. Correct? This way I can be eating and still losing it. Like me and Hari, we are all part of a biking gang, so we used to go biking all the way from here to Conroe, which is about a 40-mile round trip. Well, the end of the 20-mile used to be a Shipley Donuts. We used to bike there only so that we could eat Shipley Donuts. Well, the good thing is we would burn the donuts off before we come home, but still, you just balance that one meal. You didn't even basically cut into any of your still fat losses yet, right? So the interesting part is, yeah, I still do a lot of these and I still have a lot more hobbies. I couldn't list them all on one page. Me and my son are training for Denali next year in 2020. We signed up for the Mountaineering Challenge course on that one in April. So this is very interesting. So they had to interview us basically to accept us for the course. They said it's that challenging. Well, my son is 25, I'm 53, I think we can do it. See, I came up with this philosophy of weight loss because it is really a philosophy you need to get if you really want to lose something and keep it off. Because constantly following something and keeping it off is very important. The way I saw it is that, contextually, our body operates like a thermostat. You set the thermostat in your house to, I don't know what you set it at now, but my house is set like 66. We think that's warm. So, or because we don't want to pay the bills, one of them. So anyway, it's set at like 66 or 67. So what happens is when the cold goes lower than that, it kicks in, brings it back to 67, right? The other way, if it goes past that, if you turn the heat, it'll come back again to 67, right? So either way, you yo-yo either side, your body, your thermostat brings it back and stabilizes there. My philosophy, and I'm going to find this on Google, but this is my philosophy, is that your body acts like a thermostat. You get your body used to a certain weight. It understands a certain weight that you're comfortable at. And whenever you lose or gain, it comes back to that. If you try losing a couple of pounds and you stop doing what you're doing, your body goes back to that particular weight. Does it go over there? Too much more or too much less? Can anybody answer that? Who has lost something and come back there? You have an answer? Either way, it tends to come back around that area, right? I've tested it like 1,000 times and it still works perfectly fine. It comes back somewhere to that area. Like when I was at 200 pounds, right? And I was always, that was my number in my head. I can't cross. That means if I hit 200, I'm going to make the doctors rich or something, whatever. So when I hit 200 pounds, I would start automatically losing weight because mentally and physically I did some things which caused me to come back from that level. That means I had a mental break at that point, a limit at that point. So when I hit 200 pounds, I would do something and then I would come back like 197.5. I was pretty happy there. So I was always yo-yoing between 197.5 and 200, always in the fear of crossing 200, right? And the visits to the doctor's office are not really that fun at that time. They tell you all the levels are going up, you're on the borderline. Basically, when they say you're on the borderline, that means you're on the borderline of dying. That's what they mean. But they're being pretty nice, and they say you're on the borderline of some whatever blood work you get done. So then I said, okay, now my body understands that at 197.5 is pretty average and a pretty nice place to be. That's my thermostat. So I got that was my normal. So I termed that, okay, that's my normal, 197.5. So I yo-yo up and I yo-yo down. But I would never go below 197.5, somewhere there in that range, right? So then I started dieting. It's easy to lose 2.5 pounds. I think anybody here can try it and take about a couple of weeks, a pound a week. It's pretty easy. Any diet will get you there, but don't do a diet. I have another process to do that. So I said every pound I lose, I'm going to hold that pound off. My biggest goal was saying, if I lose a pound, I don't want to put that pound back on. That was all my goal was. I said, forget about losing 30 pounds or 40 pounds or 27 pounds. So I said, okay, let's go down to 195. The goal was to drop 2.5 pounds and just hold it at the 195. That's it. No big goals, nothing. That is my goal, to lose it and hold it there and see how long I can hold it there. If you can just do that once and consistently do it in increments of that, or whatever that weight increment is comfortable to you, you could just drop 1 pound and say, okay, I'll drop this and never go back up that 1 pound. That's it. If you can just do that consistently and hold it. 1 pound a month is almost 12 pounds a year. Would you like to lose 12 pounds? I'm sure a lot of people would. But are you willing to put in the effort? It's going to take you a year if you really want to do it the right way. You can crash diet it and come back, but it'll yo-yo back again. Right? So then I dropped how I dropped I'll tell you later, but right now I just want to get to the philosophy of it. So then I dropped down to 195, and my goal was to measure myself every day, every single day, morning, wake up, my wife still laughs about it, take off all my clothes and stand on the machine, right? Because I didn't want the weight of the clothes to act on my body weight. And always weigh yourself at exactly the same time every day. If you wake up, do it every day after you wake up. If you do it before breakfast every day, do it before breakfast. That's the only way you'll get consistent weight analysis. I have Excel sheets from early 2011 on my weight recording almost every day, right? So it's going to take some effort, right? So I love all these clubs because we go biking and we used to go to Shipley's and then come back and curse the whole day again that we ate so much food. So come down to 195, and I held that weight for 3 months. That was my whole goal, not to drop anymore, but just hold it there. But even to hold it there takes a lot of effort, if you notice, right? Especially in the Woodlands, we have these parties and we have these temple events, and we have, good food at home. We have so many food choices all the time. But we don't make a personal choice about basically trying to see what we want to really eat. So at 195, I held it for 3 months, and then I got that, okay, now if I do something, well, we had some other parties, I went to India, came back, I was back at 197.5. But when I came back to the US, just continued my regular eating habits, what I was doing when I was 195, I came back to 195 very easily. So that means what? It took some time for my body to get that 195 was my normal. It took about 3 months for it to figure out that, hey, I think I'm comfortable at 195, that's where I will be. Right? This is the very interesting turning point of my whole weight loss career, if I can say. That once your body gets it, that's your constant, it comes back. Usually it does. I mean, if you just go binge on something just because you think it'll come back, it won't. But most of the time it works. Okay, so the next goal was, I said, okay, let's lose another 2.5 pounds and hold it there and see what happens. It worked again. So consistently, it kept working. This is what was interesting. So I said, that's when I termed it as the new normal. So there's a philosophy about weight loss. They say it's all in your head. No, weight loss is in your body. It's not in your head. Your head can tell you 1,000 times every day, you need to lose weight. You're not going to do it. Your mind can only influence you 20% on weight loss. Yes, it's true. It took me 10 years to figure it out. So your mind can influence your body to lose weight only 20%. That means it can tell you exactly what to eat, give you a fantastic analysis on how you should eat. You can make up a beautiful plan. You hit the fridge, you hit the lunch table, you hit a buffet, you hit a friend's house, the starters. Your body shuts the mind out and does what it wants. Exactly, that's what happens over and over again. right? Then you go back and have a conversation between your mind and body. What happened? Your body did what it wanted to do because it wants to stabilize back at its normal. But your mind is no control at that point. Correct? That's what this simple analysis of saying, hey, so the body takes time to accept a certain weight loss that you come up to. So if you give it that loss and hold constant, it will hold it there. That's the context part of it. The content part of it, yeah, we can keep. So I analyzed this whole thing and I said, okay, what is my normal? I explained most of this, which is I was at 200 pounds and I wanted to move it down to 195, which I did. The range which I call between 200 and 197.5 is what life happens, which is food binging, going out to restaurants, going out here, coming to the temple. Any event, that's just when life happens and you tend to put on weight. So then what happens is when that life happening thing goes away, then you stabilize again back at the normal. So I broke it down to 2.5 pound increments at a time. That is my whole goal, that's it. If I just break 2.5 pounds, hold it, I don't care if I hold it for 6 months, I would still be good. But I held it down for 6 months at that loss. Then my body got it. This is where I need to be, not at the upper level, right? Today, I'm at 168 pounds, and it's perfectly normal. I can do whatever I want, it'll come back there. I've gone up to 170, that's like my cap. I can't go past 170. That became like my 200-pound limit now, when I was at 200 pounds. That's the same effort. That's the same philosophy I'm going through, and it still works. So like I said, the perception of the mind is only 10%, 80% is what your body does all the time. The key part is internalizing the process. Internalizing is when you lose some weight, hold it there. That's when your mind and body sync, saying that this weight is my normal. Your body has to internalize the weight loss. Then it will accept it. That process for everybody is different. For me, it takes me about 2 to 3 months for that to happen. So I just hold there and wait. My whole goal is in that process not to lose anymore, but to hold it. People get confused saying, I'm not losing any more weight. That means I'm doing something wrong. So I need to start doing something else. Well, they'll binge on something else and the body will react and go back to the higher goal that they were at. If you do that too many times, you lose motivation on doing this whole process. You've tried it too many times, it doesn't work, then you want a new diet, then you want a new fad, you want to use something else, you switch. So this is the content part of weight loss. Sorry. Yeah, this is the content part of weight loss, which is basically, you know what, this is another interesting analysis. 80% is food, 20% is exercise. What do we focus on most of the time? We're always focusing on food. Your body is focusing on food, but mentally what are we focusing on?
Exercise to lose weight.
Yes, we are always focusing on working out, right? I did 10,000 steps today, or I did 6 miles today, or we didn't do anything today, or tomorrow morning I'll do 10,000 steps, but I ate equivalent to 40,000 steps today, right? So we always focus on exercise, which is a good thing. The first thing when people think about is, hey, I want to lose weight, what do? You get up and start saying, I want to join the gym. In January to February, we have this joke in the gym that we see all these thousands of new people who disappear by the time Valentine's Day comes around. And all the same old people are left back who always have fun saying all the newbies are gone. So the gym is back to us now. So we own the gym again after February. It's really funny. That's when you get the best deals in the gym also, in January and the end of December, right? Well, I've been a member at the 24-Hour Fitness for the last 20 years. So I think I'm paying for the whole facility. Anyway, so the critical part is 80% is food. If you just get a handle of your food, you really don't even need to work out. You'll still lose weight, if that's your goal. First, I always recommend people get a control on your food first before you go and start trying to work out to lose weight. If you do that, your workout will be really fruitful. You'll really get there. And the whole So we'll just focus on the whole, the food and the exercise part of it, right? The simplest thing is more than a diet, you just want to have a calorie deficit. Calorie deficit is a very simple thing to understand. Everybody knows it. You know, the two easiest things that people know in the world is how to make money and lose weight. You know, you work more, spend less, you'll make money, save money. You work out more, eat less and work out more, you lose weight. Everybody knows that. They don't need to come to a talk like this to figure it out. But the thing is, nobody's doing it. Or very few people do it, and we blame somebody else for it. So what is a calorie deficit? It's as simple as, if you have a 2,000 calorie diet, you need to work out a little more than that, or eat a little less than that. Correct? Is that simple enough? I think everybody knows that. You don't need to be a doctor to figure this out. 10,000 steps a day. You know how much 10,000 steps a day is approximately? It's about 500 calories. No, not the distance, calorie count.
400 calories, I would say.
You would say 400 calories. You know how many calories there are in one blueberry muffin that you eat at Starbucks? 380 calories. So you could do workout for 1 hour, 10,000 steps, post it in 10,000 different places. I did 10,000 steps today. Everybody's like clapping. On the way back, pick up one muffin. Because you did 10,000 steps today and you're on a high. The whole thing is gone. That muffin will take like 30 seconds to go down. Your 1 hour workout is washed out. That is calorie deficit.
No, but I just want to step in here. Don't you think that you add the muscle mass, which kind of helps you a little bit?
Yeah, I'll get a little more complicated. I'm trying to simplify it, where I'm saying that let's just talk about simple basic stuff, right? Where we can complicate this whole thing to no level. You know, I've written down a lot more in my blog if you read there. I've even talked about addictions, and because we all have food addictions, which I think I did or I still do. Can you flip it? Yeah, calorie deficit, right? Look at this. Average calorie requirement is about 2,000. This is really interesting. So if you do 10,000 steps a day, average calorie burn is about 500. If you eat 2,000 calories and lose 500 calories a day, but from Monday to Friday, you pick up a deficit of 2,500 calories, which is amazing. But Friday comes around and you go into this weekend, and it takes about 3,500 calorie deficit to lose 1 pound, approximately. Don't quote me on the numbers. Google will give you a better number, but this is approximately. And then we go into the weekend. Sunday, one meal in the temple is like 2,000 calories. This is the whole day's food in one meal. Well, I think in the olden days they made it that way because people used to go to the village and they could afford only one meal. Temple gave them good food and they didn't eat of the rest of the day. But here we come and have breakfast, then have lunch, then go back and say, oh, what do we have for snacks, and then have dinner. Right? So you picked up basically 4,000 calories. Right there on one day, and you haven't, that's only on Sunday. And Friday evening you have a party. Starter is about 1,000 calories, the main meal is about another 1,500 calories. In the meanwhile, if your wife says you had it cooked on Saturday, you go to a restaurant, a minimum restaurant meal is like 1,500 calories. So you work from Monday through Friday very diligently, very hard to get a deficit of 2,500 calories. You blew the whole thing and you put on a pound by the weekend. Just that weekend. I weighed myself Monday through Friday, I was perfect. Monday morning I was back or worse than where I was. Right? I can share all my Excel sheets to prove to you this happens every weekend, used to happen every weekend for me, right? So then we started biking. So me, Hari, and all the guys created a big group. We joined a biking group, and it was pretty interesting because just that bike ride would take out about 3,000 calories or something. So at least we said, okay, the deficit what we created on the weekend, we were canceling that, only that one. That means that was only subtracting all the stuff you did on the weekend. You still had to maintain a weekly deficit to lose weight. So if we were on a high because we ran or we biked on the weekend, your whole deficit is gone. The first thing is never celebrate losing weight by going for another meal. That's the biggest mistake. Every time you say, hey, I ran today, let's go eat something. I biked today, let's binge on something. Everybody comes and tells me, you can afford to eat some more. I said, no, I won't do it. Give me a second. I'm controlling my own recording. Okay, perfect. Start up again. Okay, so I explained what calorie deficit is, right? And how detrimental it is that you can do perfect thing Monday to Friday and on the weekend shoot the whole thing down at once. So if you do this enough times, you're going to lose interest very soon. It's not going to work anymore, right? Okay. Which part did you miss? That's okay. So anyway, how did I start the process? Take one small step at a time. That's my only thing. I said I want to lose 2.5 pounds. I really don't care about anything else. And hold it down there. And then the complication of, okay, what else do? I don't want to go down understanding all the food categories. I'm not a nutritionist. So I said, okay, I'll just drop one thing at a time. What's the one thing I drop at a time? I said, okay, I'll start eating a healthy breakfast. I have 3 meals a day. If I can control one meal, I've controlled 30% of my eating habits. Am I correct? But I need to make sure that the other 2 meals I don't binge on to undo what I did in the first meal. So keeping 2 meals constant, I will fix 1 meal. That's it. This is not that complicated, guys. It's pretty simple, right? So I just fixed 1 meal. So I just wrote down what I eat because people ask me the same question, what do you eat every day? So that's what I eat. I switched my coffee I cut out the sugars and the milk in the coffee. I just drink black coffee. It tastes really good. Now I can tell the difference between which seed came from where. So I'm a big coffee connoisseur now. So if you fix 1 meal a day, you already saved 30%. You did 30% work on your meal planning. Isn't that amazing? I think it is. Then go after fixing the next meal if you really are interested. The dinner was the toughest meal for me to fix because usually, that's the family time. We tend to sit down, we eat. So I said, okay, I will not focus too much on dinner. I'll just focus on breakfast and lunch. Because most of the time I'm by myself doing breakfast and lunch. So I have more control of that. So if I do 2 meals a day out of the 3 meals a day, I'm past 50% fixing my eating habits. Correct? I'll tell you how to manage restaurants and parties. That's the next step. Because that's also true, because that's what happens every weekend or every time we go, right? Because humans are bound to socialize around food. Nothing wrong in it. Animals meet around food too, but they stop eating when they're full. We don't. That's the only difference. Human beings are the only species that don't stop eating even though they're full. Did you know that? Anyway, after I got control of the meals, I said, okay, what am I exercising right now? My regular exercise schedule was about 2 to 3 times a week. I just kept that constant. I said, I'm not going to shift that anymore. So don't make too many changes in your lifestyle when you want to lose weight. When you make too many changes, that's when it all goes crazy, because your body and your mind don't accept it. Not only your body and mind accepting it, your family won't accept it. People around you can't take it that you eat less anymore, right? So it's a whole family effort. I'll get to that part later. Raji, can you switch that once? So what I gave up, consistently I gave up something, 1 food at a time, right? So what are the first thing I start with? I said fried foods. That's the only thing I gave up. In every meal, just gave up fried foods. I won't eat fried foods, that's it. Before that, I used to binge on Kentucky Fried Chicken, 4 pieces at a time. But if I calculate the calories now, I'll probably go crazy. So that's all I did. Just give up fried foods. That got me off my 2.5 pounds right off the top. Forget it. No exercise, nothing. Just stop the fried foods. Just that easy. And then hold it there. Over a period of time, your body will get used to not eating fried foods. It's as simple. It'll become a lifestyle change. And you won't, even if you do eat fried foods, you won't like it after some time, because I can feel the oil in my mouth now. Then I started understanding and reducing intake of indirect sugars. What is indirect sugar? Sugars you don't see when you're eating it. It's as simple as that. Does anybody here know how many spoons of sugar there's in 1 can of Coke? It's 36 grams of sugar. 4 grams of sugar make up 1 spoon. 12 spoons of sugar in 1 can of Coke. So, not that I used to drink too many Cokes or anything, but just understanding their logic was important. So when my kid used to drink sodas, I used to tell them, if you really like sugar that much, you know what, take 2 spoons of sugar and put it in your mouth. It's like 1/5 of the sugar content in 1 Coke. And it'll give you a better sugar high than that Coke can. I used to do that when I was trying to wean off desserts. I would actually take sugar and put it in my mouth. I wanted the sweet. It's easier to do it that way, and you get only 2 spoons as against getting 12 spoons of sugar. So it's still an amazing analysis, right? I still got less sugar than I had direct sugars. So understand what indirect sugars are. Just Google that article. It'll blow your mind how much of indirect sugars we eat every day. And salt. I think in just 1 slice of bread, there's more sugar and salt than your total calorie requirement in some instances. Then later I got to the more complicated stuff, which is how do I understand my carbs? As soon as you start trying to do weight loss, don't go into all of these categories at once. It's too overwhelming and you'll never do it. Drop one thing at a time, drop a pound at a time and hold it there. That's the most key important thing you can ever do to hold it down. Then I started understanding intake of direct sugars. That was the easy part. I eat a lot of dessert.
So when you make this change, what was the time period that you gave yourself?
I lost my 30 pounds, let us say, over a period of 3 years. So that means I was in no hurry to do it. I wanted to lose 1 pound a month. That was my goal.
So between fried foods and indirect sugars?
Between fried foods and indirect sugars, whenever I could hold my weight down constantly and I wanted to drop the next level, that's when I would do that.
So it's like about 2 months?
Yeah, I would say. It could be different for you because initially you lose weight faster than later. I'll tell you my current challenges. I still have a challenge, I'll tell you that. So understanding direct sugars was the most interesting thing because I had to categorize my addiction for dessert or sugars as an addiction. Sugar was my addiction. I need that dessert. Everybody knew I needed dessert. Everybody knew I eat like 12 gulab jamuns at a time. Right? I still do that once in a while just to get it over with. Right? I used to eat donuts on Saturday morning and kolaches on Saturday morning. So even now, once in a while when I need that fix, I go buy half a dozen donuts and 2 kolaches, eat them all at once in the car and come back. That's my fix. But I do that once a year. I don't do that every Saturday. It's still okay. So I'm telling you, you can still do weird things like that and still lose weight. So then understanding direct sugars was important because in my blog I explained it even more deeper about what an addiction is. And compared it to what Alcoholics Anonymous goes through on their 12-step program to basically lose addiction to alcohol. Their motto in alcohol addiction is not to give up alcohol. Their motto is, I will not drink today. If they say, I will not drink forever, people can't take it anymore. They'll go do it every day. Say, only today I will not eat it. So if you follow that one motto saying, only today I will not eat fried foods, you're perfectly fine. Tomorrow morning comes on and say, oh, today I will not eat fried foods. So I had to do something close to that. Can I answer them a little later? I used to do something close to that to basically every morning remind myself from 1 step at a time to come down on that one. So I define that more on the blog about how I declared it an addiction. I think still an addiction. I still have trouble with it. And a lot of my friends know I eat a lot of dessert, but I still do that, but I try to figure out how to fix it. I also have my way of coming over that. So if you see all these analyses, you see how many, each one of those stages took me a long time to do. People don't take that whole list and say, I'll start this from Monday morning. It'll not work. By Wednesday, you'll be miserable. Your family will be miserable with you. Everybody will hate you for what you're doing. And you'll hate yourself for what you're doing. Correct? How do I manage at parties? Yeah, I try to eat a small starter and a quarter plate. It's okay, you're eating a starter, right? If you don't eat, I think other people have more stigma about you not eating than you trying to eat or not. So take a quarter plate and walk around with the 2 pieces in it, people will leave you alone, right? Or tell them, my doctor told me not to eat it. Unfortunately, most of the guys who ask you are doctors, so I can't tell them that reason. And then the main meal, of course, again switch down to a 50%, take a quarter plate, eat half the sizes. We still eat out regularly, Our family, we like eating out. I still eat out about twice a week. We haven't given that up. But what I eat outside changed a little. I don't order starters anymore, and we don't do desserts anymore. I don't do margaritas anymore. It's indirect sugars. One margarita, 600 calories. Nowadays they call it a skinny margarita, 300. It's only comparatively lower, guys. It's only comparatively lower. Correct? It is still a lot of calories. So if you compare it on the deficit, you'll get it that the whole thing will blow your mind. Yeah, like I said, I do try not to binge on sweets, but I'm addicted to it. And I have my work around it. But different phases of fat loss. I was at 200 pounds. Initial goal, like I said, was at 2.5 pounds breaks each. I broke it at 190. I was just thrilled. I went on an eating binge. I gained back 5 pounds, but I lost it a lot faster because I understood my normalcy. I'm very educated now, so I can actually put on weight and lose it, which I've also tried, and I've succeeded consistently at putting it on and losing. I've actually tried it both ways. So then I broke 180 pounds. The last break, which was trying to break 170 pounds, was the toughest. I held there at almost 3 years, and I couldn't break that because I wasn't willing to modify my lifestyle to make that final switch. Correct? I still had to live. I still wanted to do my things I wanted to do, but still had to figure out how to break it. And I did break that finally. And like I said, I stayed at that 174 for more than so many years. And when I climbed with Ravi Joshi, when we did the Kilimanjaro climb, and I came back, I weighed 164. But that was very temporary. You see, but my body normal was 174. I came back that within 1 month. At 174, I felt comfortable. I was good again. So I can't go to Kilimanjaro every weekend just to get there, right? So we had to break that systematically. So like I said, now I'm at like 168. Now I measure myself not in body weight, but in body fat percentage. Because I met another trainer. My cousin's sister went for a bodybuilding competition. She actually stood on the stage completely perfect, like 3% body fat. And I went to the same trainer. I said, I need the same guy who trained you to get there. I went to him 6 weeks. He broke me on 174 to 168. With the difference in body fat percentage from 26% body fat to initially 18 and then now to 12.58% body fat. I put 5.8%. It makes a lot of difference, not 5.0. Well, my current goal is to break 10% body fat and then 7%. It's taking me a lot longer because I'm still not that excited. So now I've come down to saying, okay, how do I lose 1% of body fat every month and hold it there? That's my new goal, right? So it takes a lot of effort to do it. Thanks, Raji, for managing that. People ask me, what's your daily schedule? This is my simple daily schedule. Wake up at 6, do meditation, go to the gym. In the gym, I have a different schedule which really works. A lot of people ask me, what is the schedule that really works for you? For me, this is what works. I do 15 minutes of high interval training, which is called the HIIT. 5 minutes on the stair climber, 30 seconds slow speed, 30 seconds as fast as I can go. That's what I start with. If you want to really wake up in the morning, get on that machine for that 5 minutes. It'll wake you up completely. 5 minutes on the biking, 30 minutes slow, 30 minutes as fast as I can go. Basically, it's fluctuating your heart rate up and down, throwing it off sync. And 5 minutes on the treadmill, 30 seconds slow, 30 seconds as fast as I can go, balanced without falling off the machine. Correct? That's my start routine. If I start just that 5 minutes, it's completely charged me up. Then I have a 45-minute weight training schedule that my trainer gave me, which I do very religiously, consistently. Every 2 weeks I go for a body fat measurement because I have to be accountable for my body fat for somebody else. If I'm accountable to myself, I can fudge the numbers, I can put that somewhere else, I can mix cells in the Excel sheet to make it look good for me. But this guy, he won't even let me touch the sheet. He'll post it and I can only see it. I can't change anything. Right? And then I sleep early. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I sleep early. But the only person who has an issue with that, I think sometimes my wife, she says, he's asleep by 9 o'clock, 9:30. And okay, it's a good thing. Anyway, the whole thing is about planning and planning and planning. If you don't plan for your meals for the week, you're not going to eat the right foods. If I have out of town, is okay. I figured out what less to eat and what more, because I know even if I binge a week, I come back, I stabilize within 3 weeks. If I go to India for 10 days, I come back, it takes me 3 weeks to stabilize again. So I got it all down. It takes me 3 weeks. I don't plan 2 trips simultaneously within 3 weeks intervals, because I need to come back to my normal before I start another trip. Right? So that way I built a system around the whole thing so that now life works for me. Correct. Correct. Can you switch, Rani? Yeah, these are just my simple meals, which all I'm putting that out there is because people ask me the same question over and over again, right? So what do you really eat? I eat everything. So other than all the breakfast and the lunch and dinners, which I've got it down, I don't snack in the middle. That's the biggest thing. The biggest thing I gave up is eat 3 consistent meals, don't snack, and from the last meal in the evening to the meal in the next morning, there's a 15 to 16 hour gap. That also gives me my fasting schedule correctly. Right? Coconut water you can have, it doesn't mess with that. And I still need my fixes. I go to Fuddruckers and I do my burger with fries once a week. We eat out in restaurants. And hopefully there's only one party in the week. It's not. Even if it's more, we'll figure it out. Correct? We just work around it. That's why I say life comes back. Sometimes you lose 2 pounds, gain 1 back, which is still okay. At least you lost 1. So always plan for 2 if you want to lose 1. Raji, can you switch the slide? Anyway, just summarizing the whole thing is, this is the most important thing to understand, guys. If you really want to lose it, you need to just get down to whatever that normal is for you. You know what that weight is. At some weight, you're always stabilizing. Drop something down and hold it there for some time. If you can effectively do that in small spurts over a period, don't give it like 1 month you want to look good. The wedding coming up in 4 months, I want to drop 40 pounds. Not possible. My friends try that. Oh, you're going for a guy's trip next month. I'll be size, large from triple L or something, XL, whatever. It doesn't work, right? The analysis, I don't know if I even put that down. Can you switch the slide? This is my son's amazing weight loss. I started doing all this and he lost weight in the house. Correct? It's an amazing thing because it's a family effort. People see you doing something different, they like to follow it. Kids are good at following or emulating their parents. Right? As a parent, I'd say, okay, I like to do it first and then show you how to do it. Or they will follow even if you don't tell them. But if you're doing something else and telling them something else, they'll never sync up to what you're saying. Right? Okay, you already moved to the next slide. Anyway, what I'm saying is that is how I look now, and I'm still working at how I need to look at 55. That's my different goal I have, which when I get there, I'll give another talk about it. And Raji, is there another slide after that, or is that the end? Perfect. So anyway, that's about what I wanted to share. And if anybody has any questions, I also have 1 or 2 people I want who have done this very well. And I want them also to share so that you get an idea from them also what it is for them to, their perspective, just not my perspective, because I can keep talking forever. Anybody has any questions on this?
Anil, I have this question. So hitting the plateau is something that everybody faces when they're going through this weight loss journey, right?
Right.
What is one thing that has worked for you that has switched that thing from hitting the plateau to continuing with the weight loss?
Correct. Yeah, the same terminology I call this hitting a wall. Basically, when I kept doing it, I could not break the round number barriers. So from 200 pounds, I couldn't break 190. It took me forever to break 190, right? I was always at 191, 190.5, 190.1, never broke 190, right? And I sat there for like 6 months. That's when you need to keep everything else still stable. Don't suddenly go crazy. Keep all the other food habits that you've given away at bay. Keep it stable, correct? Look for a different activity schedule. If you're doing the same thing like running, it's good. Increase your distance. Your body will figure out a way to cope with it. That is what will get you past the plateau. Like for me, I would switch sports completely. My gym schedule sometimes, mostly it's in the morning, I change routines. Sometimes I'll put the workout in the end, I'll do that, change my trainer. Somebody new to tell you something different. I've tried so many things except go to the doctor for a liposuction. That's the worst thing I want to do. But the wall, I've hit the wall every time. Even now I hit a wall. My wall is at 12.58% body fat. I'm not breaking it. I keep fluctuating between 15 and there. Everybody tells me it's amazing. You don't need to lose anymore. It's not to do with other people's goals. This is my own goal. It's got nothing to do with anybody. I don't care if I walk around without my shirt on, but I want my six-pack. That's my goal. Correct? But that's just my goal, and I hit a plateau. If I don't do this consistently and keep working towards some goal, I will become complacent and go back up. I don't care if I die trying, but I will still keep trying to get there. If you keep doing that, the wall will break someday. The plateaus that you keep hitting, and you won't even know what broke you through that. And once you break through that wall, the next 10 pounds will go like that.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah, a lot of people hit a wall, and I've hit that so many times. I hit that even now. Any other questions?
I forgot something I asked you.
Yes, sir. What did you ask?
Radhika's contribution on this one.
What is Radhika's contribution in this one? She's a very good contributor in the house because whenever I make these switches to changes to food habits, they figure out how to make me different stuff. Correct? And it helps everyone in the house, right? Basically, from the time I started, everybody in the house has come back to a normal weight. Not that we are all obese and overweight, but it really helps. Everybody consistently comes back up. So we all eat, because I'm doing all this, I can't say her weight is in check because of that, but whatever is appropriate for her, but it works for the whole family. Now when we go to India, they think we're all starving. We're not starving. We're perfectly fine. Right? We are healthy. They don't like us looking healthy. They think if you're thin, something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong. I think we're perfectly healthy. So it really helps when everybody's on board.
But you're not going to ask a different meal each time a day, right? Oh, it's boring and eating the same meal since it's a diet.
If you get really bored, you don't have to diet. Never say the word diet in the whole process. The first 3 alphabets in the word diet is D-I-E. You'll die doing it. Correct? Don't ever try to diet. Just make lifestyle changes one at a time. So now we don't cook fried foods over a period of time. It took us some time to do that. We don't cook fried foods in the house. We don't cook fatty foods in the house. Now to break my 12.58% body fat, I'm trying to see if just going vegan is going to help it. I don't know. I'll log it. I'll document everything. I'll have all the documents. I'm good at documentation. I run a company which is document management, so I'm good at that. So I'll document everything. Why do I document it? Because I can analyze it every week. This week I lost weight. What did I eat? I have apps. I used to do all that. Now I kind of know the numbers.
Vegan, onion?
Yeah, I was a born carnivore, right? I probably must have eaten like half the animals on the planet, but...
Wow.
Anyway, I'm trying it, and it's really amazing. It's just working wonders for me right now. Just 1 week I've been at it. I broke it last week, but anyway, I'll see how much I can keep up with it. But it's helping me because my energy is amazing in the gym. It's something different. I saw the show called Game Changers. It's just really mind-blowing. Just to understand what it is, you have to see it. Any other questions before I hand over the mic to somebody else? Because I wanted Kavita to share a little on your weight loss journey, and Raji, if you can share a little on your weight loss journey, that really help. Because I want people to get a different perspective of whatever they're saying. Can you do that? Okay.
can't speak extempore, I just made some notes.
Whatever knocks you out.
Letting me share my thoughts on my journey. Over the years, I have made many attempts to lose weight, and I have been successful in doing so. I also put back more than what I had lost. It was like I was swimming against the currents, heading nowhere, and was left feeling depleted. I soon realized this was not my goal. I was struggling to conform to some social standards of how one should look or be. I began to appreciate my body for what miracles it has given me. I started to fall in love with my thighs that jiggle, my curves, and my love handles. I was in peace, fulfilling my divine purpose of life, to live it to the fullest. I have started to lose weight again. What is different now? This time, I have been chosen for this experiment. I almost feel that I donated my body for science. My friend Sukanya wanted me to try her program. Sukanya was here and she spoke about lifestyle changes a couple of weeks ago. She put together a plan for me, and remember, I was doing it for her and the greater good. I must say she is very, very good at her work. Bless her heart for guiding many to make better lifestyle choices. In my case, I have no unrealistic expectations for my body except for its optimum functioning. This time, the weight loss is more like a side effect of a healthy and mindful living. I have made simple and healthy lifestyle choices for a better health, and the pounds are peeling off. Can I make a plea before I sign?
Yes, please go ahead.
I have a plea. Some of us think we have the wit of Tenali Ramakrishnan and say things like, hey, why are you sitting there? Because there is a huge crack on the floor? Or going down in the elevator must come easy for you? Please, please, please choose your words, because such words can hurt. For you, it might seem like a harmless joke. To the afflicted, it seems like body shaming. But if you feel a compulsive need to be funny, our world leaders are a good distraction.
That's perfect. Raji, you want to say a couple of words of what you've been doing? I also wanted to say something before I end it. My blog will be ready. It's actually ready, but the recording also will go live on my blog. My blog is pretty easy. It's aniladoni.com. There's already another blog there, which is called Compassion, which I gave a talk on some time ago. I'm giving another talk in January at the Seniors Forum. Thanks Rai Choti for putting me on that every year. I come there and they were the easiest group that started inviting me to talk, so that's where I ended up. Anyway, my talk in January is going to be about personality and situational. Sorry, I just forgot. Let her say what she said, and I'll come back on it.
Kavi, that was awesome. Thank you. And I was always fortunate listening to you. I don't know if I'm the right person to even stand here and talk. I don't feel that I've achieved anything great to even stand here and say I've lost this much weight or anything like that. It's just that I gained a lot of weight over a 4 years period. And I had my own reasoning, my own excuses for gaining those weights. At the same time, I had my own challenges in my personal life and in my professional life that I had to go through whatever I had to go through. But in the process, I think I was also drafted into the experimentation process. Right after my 50th birthday, Sukanya called me the day of my 50th birthday, March 28th, and she said, hey, you're going to start doing this with me. So I didn't have an option but to just sign up. So she is kind of like the taskmaster. She's a virus that gets into your head and stays in the bug stays in your system forever. So everything that you do, everything you touch, it's got the Sukanya virus and you're aware of what it is and you kind of realize, no, I can't do this. So yesterday I had this awesome friend who just cooked this exquisite meal, low carb, zero carb, and fantastic spread. But then I literally had the Sukanya bug telling me, no, you need to stop eating. So I kind of held off on the dessert for today. So that's how much I have traveled in my journey with this reaching the new normal process. I agree with him. Some of the changes that I went through personally, apart from what Sukanya said, was number one, grocery shopping, right? I try not to go to HEB. I honestly, because I go there are certain things that I absolutely love buying. The muffins and the dessert, I'm such a sucker for all those sweet items that exist. The pastries are my favorite. I can just skip every meal and just eat pastries. I love pastries. I don't care for Indian sweets as much, but I love pastries. So that's my biggest problem. So I don't go to HEB. I try not to go to those aisles. I try to clean my pantry of all the stuff that I don't want. So I don't buy what I don't eat. And the biggest challenge in our family right now is getting my husband to sign up for it because he loves to eat and I'm constantly bugging him to join this journey, and he's trying very hard too, so I have to give it to him for that. But it's kind of a hard battle when you are doing it a certain way and you have a family that does it the other way. So it's easier if everybody is in the same journey. So it's a partnership deal. You have to work, you have to sell the concept, you have to do a lot of marketing, but I think we will be together at some point on this journey. And the other thing that I always felt was saying no, which is very, very, very hard for me. I love to eat, and I don't eat as much, but then when I eat. So, and I thought I was doing a great job with the food choices that I was making. Obviously, I wasn't until I got into this journey with Sukanya. I realized all the changes and all the things that I had to go through to lose my pounds. And I've hit a wall right now, so that's the thing that I'm going through. And I've started Camp Gladiator, which is just something that I absolutely love. And I do it twice a week, so I'm going to make it 3 times a week. I'm slowly buying into the Mystic Minders thing because I hate running, and I did the 10K out of whim because somebody said you can walk it, but then I went there and I did a run jog and I did my personal best. So I kind of feel good about that part, but still, I'm too lazy to wake up in the morning, so I have that problem too. I have a lot of problems, so I have to work through my problems to reach my goals. It's not easy, but the challenges come to you. The question is how you face those challenges, and I'm very honest in saying that I'm not perfect, so I don't even think I'm the perfect person for anybody to emulate at any point of time where this is concerned. But I try, and I yo-yo a lot. The yo-yoing is a rough part of it. Staying focused in the mind is again a big challenge. Choosing the right food is a major challenge, and making sure that I don't party as much is completely out of my league because everybody knows I party, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the hardest thing in my life because my partying starts Friday at 5 p.m. and it doesn't end until Sunday. By partying, I mean it could be pujas, it could be friends even, it could be ladies' night out, it could be anything, but then it is always a challenge. But I've stopped eating outside. I don't go out and eat, I don't eat in restaurants. I try to say no to people, and when I go for dinner with friends, I eat by 6:37. And I don't know why we Indians have the habit of serving food so late. Every event, every party, we serve food at 9:30, 10. I honestly find it very hard because I've gone to so many parties and I've said 6:30, I want to eat. I'm hungry because I'm on this journey and I have certain time in which I eat, and beyond 7 I cannot hold my hunger. I have to eat and I'm done. After that I'm done. I don't want to eat beyond that. But we have the habit of serving late. So I really wish we would change that aspect as well. So there are a lot of things, ups and downs, but overall I'm definitely in the right path, but I'm nowhere near where I was 4 years ago. I have a long way to go, and hitting the wall is something that I'm facing every time. The new normal is something perfect that Anu said. I had goals, and to reach that goal was so hard, and then to keep it there is even harder. So I started this journey April 15th, right after a trip with my girlfriends to Sedona, and I have been at it ever since. It's not easy. You have your ups and downs. But the thing is, like Anil said, you need to set those small goals. You need to tell your mind, I want to do this. I am doing it for myself. It is hard. So, as I said, I'm not the right person, but I try. That's the only thing I'm doing is I'm trying. And it's hard. There are days when I feel completely frustrated. This morning I was completely frustrated. I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not even going to check my weight because you hit the wall, it's not moving in spite of me doing CG and run and walk and it's hard. You don't know where you're making a mistake because everything seems to be normal. I never binged this week. So these challenges will happen, I guess, but
I like what
it's what it is. But this journey is different. It's different.
I like what you said. I didn't binge this week.
Yeah, I did.
Alka, you want to say a couple of words and we'll then finish it up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Alka Kushwaha, and I hit my highest in 2018, actually on my daughter's wedding, which was pathetic because I was supposed to lose weight to get to there, not gain weight. But since then, it came to a realization when I went back and saw the wedding videos, like, goodness, what is this?
I need to make
So
an
my personal
announcement.
journey is I'm not on any
I'm
specific
done.
diet plan.
The
But
moment she's done,
since
I'm done.
then, I have lost 17 pounds on my own. And how I did it, the only problem is that I have a husband who has not gone over 145 pounds since the day we got married. So it's very hard to manage a food diet at home because he would be invisible in that case. So having said that, it had to be a personal change. It could not be where I could incorporate my whole family into it. So whatever I made for him, I ate. Except I only ate half of what he ate.
Portion
So
control.
basically, if I would eat like 2 rotis a day and I would have rice, I would skip the rice. So making these small changes is what I did. And yes, I'm also in CG just like her. It's a Camp Gladiator program and I do it 3 times a week. And that workout, as you said, 20%? Yes, 20%. My only bad thing is Sunday is my binge day. That is the one day I would go and eat my sweets. I would eat whatever I want, only to fight the cravings throughout the whole week. I still go out with friends. They are having all snacks. I will have my tea and I would only pick one. Parties, 30-bite diet. So I'll go to any party, but I would only eat 30 bites of whatever I want to eat, whether it be dessert, whether it be main course, or whether it be my appetizer. So I had to make these small changes too, and I could not tell my rest of my family, who is perfectly in their weight zone. They have a BMI of almost 0, and here I have to fight my own.
0.
So the small changes have happened over time. Exercise, yes. I watch TV. Everybody does. They love to catch up on their favorite shows. But guess what? You can record those shows. Don't watch it unless you're on the treadmill just walking 2 miles an hour. So do these small changes and I think it will help. My goal is also for the next year I want to lose another 10 pounds. And yes, I have friends. I talk to these people all the time. What did you do differently? Let me try to incorporate it in my life. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, find something else that does. I used to play tennis, did not work for me. I played 4 times a week. So yes, workouts do help, but they are not a decision how to lose weight. Because your body thinks that this workout is normal for you. If you don't do it, you'll gain, but if you don't do it, you'll plateau. So these are some changes that I did in my life, and I'm going to keep on going only because of health reasons. Yes, if I don't do it, my blood pressure is going to go through the roof, and that is like a silent killer, which I don't want to do because I know I'm like a pillar of my household where everybody depends on you. So for all of you, you are very much needed. Get on path.
Thank you all for sharing. I want to just
Before you make any
go ahead.
So you had made a comment about Alcoholics Anonymous saying that I won't drink today.
Right.
They also say in Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't drink but I know about this. Today is the first day of the rest of my life.
Correct.
And you want to have a long life, you start making your changes today.
Yes. I listed all of them in my blog on the whole 12-step program. But the simplest thing to get it is today I will not do it.
Yes.
If you just do that part, I think you'll get pretty long. And thanks all of you for sharing. I think in all the sharing, I just summarized the whole thing. What I get is that They were more accountable for their weight loss when they basically made somebody else responsible for their weight loss. Like you said, Sukanya is taking care of what you're looking at. You did something and you said, Sukanya will track you. You'll do it because she's tracking you, not because you want to do it a lot of time. I get that. I'm just saying, if you make somebody else, even now I make my trainer accountable for me. I tell people drastic things like I'm going to get a six-pack. Why? Because they're going to look at me and say, so do you have it? Well, basically they're reminding me if I got it or not. And because I said it, I need to be accountable for it. So I don't care if it takes 20 years. I'll keep working at it. Correct? That's the whole thing. That's summarizing the whole thing, I think, pretty much there. Everybody hits a wall. Just do small things regularly and come back to portion control, like Alka said. Everything is about portion control. Eat whatever you want. You don't have to make drastic changes. Just do portion control. Correct? I do travel. I travel a lot just for fun, for work. I eat out a lot. I go to parties a lot. I eat everywhere I go. I still eat all my desserts. When I go to India, my sister makes me these gulab jamuns. I eat like 4 for breakfast, 6 for lunch, and 10 for dinner. I come back, my body comes back to normal. 3 weeks, exactly, I can time it. I'll put it on a calendar and show you. I can go back to that spot where I was before. So I come back to my 12.5.8% in 3 weeks, wherever I am. That's how fast it can go back. Your body records it, it knows how to get there. But you got to give your body time to accept it. Just get that part and it'll all start working. Yes, Santosh. Yes, sir.
What's your last meal of the day in the morning? How many hours do you usually eat?
The time difference between my last 2 meals from the night to the morning, between 15 to 16 hours. I eat my dinner at like 5:30 or 6 p.m. Even if people call me out for dinner, I still eat and go. The chances of me binging at a party are very low if I already had my dinner at home. Like,
So party or not, you still eat at 5:30?
I still eat at 5:30. I probably snack through the dinner.
And you said about personal trainer, is it more for a workout or?
My personal trainer has two things. Basically, whenever I hit a wall, he'll change my routine and he'll make me push a lot more than I think I can, because I find my comfort zone saying that I'm 53, I need to slow down. But he'll push me 20, 40 pounds over and I can still do it. Just to know that I can still do a lot more. That way, it keeps me, the next 2 weeks before I see him, it keeps me pushing more for those 2 weeks. Till I get there. When I go there, he says, why are you so weak? Let's start again. So it's almost like a reminder every 2 weeks to get back. And he's accountable. He's logging my weight. He takes me measurements and fat measurements and calipers. It's not a joke when the guy takes me eight places. My body takes a caliper measurement and tells me I'm off by 1 millimeter somewhere. But it's ridiculous because I come back and I analyze those sheets again. People think I'm crazy. I am. But if you really want to lose it and keep it off, you got to do something drastic. It's very easy to land up in the hospital. But you rather do it, be proactive about weight loss and lose it now than to be reactive. And you have to lose it. I know a lot of people who have to lose the weight but still don't lose it. They trust the medical system too much to bail them out. It's not going to bail you out. When your body decides to shut down, it will shut down. It's called multiple organ failure.
No, actually, I mean, scary. It's a little, no, honestly, it's like taking an exam. If you have to pass an exam, you have to study. So if you have to lose your weight, you need to work for it. As simple as it.
We track a lot of, like you said, we track a lot of things in our projects, in our daily life. We're all big project managers, we're doctors, we're engineers. We report to other people, people report to us. Just put this in as a project. It is a project. It is a daily project for yourself. How else can you do something better for yourself? We want everything to do for our kids. Yeah, there's a nice program. I'll send my kids there. What about you? Why aren't you going there? No, I think they need to get it. Well, there's a good thing on weight loss. Yeah, my husband needs to go there, not me. Right? Well, something on that. The next talk about what talk I was going to give you is about personality and situational tolerance. Just because you're losing weight, don't tell everybody to lose weight. Just tell them if they ask you. Don't point out people and say you're fat, you're thin, or whatever it is just because you're on a high. It's called personality tolerance. You need to be tolerant to people where they are. Situational tolerance. Be tolerant about the situations the way they are and not be where you want it to be all the time. Causes a lot of concern. There's a big blog I'm writing about it. I'll talk about it at the next session in January. You have something else to close it up?
I have to make an announcement.
Okay, just make the announcement and I think I'm done. Thanks everybody for coming in. Thank you. I will have this blog out ready on Monday and it'll be live on aniladoni.com. Thank you.
Hey, Anil, thanks a lot. My name